Hi and welcome to another tutorial of Visualizer. Today we'll show you how to make a pivot analysis. Here's our agenda. First we'll see how to create a pivot analysis in the tool, then a quick look at the possibility of drill down within a pivot analysis. We will go through the different presentation possibilities of the interactive charts, and in the end install the analysis as a template for further use. Let's start by opening up our demo database, which directly takes us to Analyze mode. We create a new pivot analysis by pressing the Add button and selecting New Pivot Analysis. As you can see, we have 4 different buttons in the toolbar. The first one is for the table settings. Here we select which table we want to work with. The second button is for presentation, where you can select in which way you want to visualize your results. The third button is for exporting the data, and the fourth to add notes if you have any. Let's define our first pivot analysis. We've selected our main table to be orders. In the pivot analysis, we can have several categories and values. In this case, currency has been selected as a category by default and the value to be the order value. In this first pivot analysis, I would like to study the order value for the different customer types, so I'll replace currency by customer type in the following way. Regarding the value by default, let's have a look at it. If I want to analyze the sales for different categories and in time, the value should indeed be the order value, but the sum rather than the average. I also prefer to call it total sales. I can drag and drop the elements as I wish, switching axes for instance. In this case, I prefer to arrange the numbers as follows. I know there exist different categories within customer types, so I add a new category called business type. I can now break down the businesses into different areas to read how much of the sales these different groups contribute with. If I wish to see how it evolves over time, I can add a time category, the order date. By default, it's in quarters, but this can easily be modified to years, for instance. Now I have my sales for the different categories for the 5 years. To make the comparison easier, I can go to the Presentation tab and choose to add cell bars, and using the same scale for all columns. I can now drill down in the different categories. By ticking the Show Parent Values, I can compare the sum at all times. So now when I have a great overview of my data, I rapidly see that the export market has been suffering, especially in 2011 and 2012. If I'm interested in knowing more about this, I can right-click on the cell and select Drill Down to List Analysis to get all transactions behind that number. Another way to analyze the situation would be to present it in a bar chart. We can see that sales increase over time, but how have they evolved within the different years? Are there any seasonal components? To get the sales per quarter, I can add another category, the order date again, but this time with quarters. We directly see that Q1 is performing better than Q2 in every year and so on. We can also collapse the different years on the x-axis to present only some of them which are of more interest. Pressing the bars, you can drill down to detailed data, and hovering gives you the exact value. Bars can be replaced by lines, value dots can be added, and trend lines as well. If we think the analysis we just made can be of interest another time or for the colleagues, we can install it as follows. So, today we've shown you how to create a simple pivot analysis in Visualizer. Thank you for listening.